Okay, the bebe is finally asleep, and so I have a limited amount of time to film this and chat about this. Um, but I just want to talk about the 2025 housing market because I see a lot of my first time homebuyers getting super frustrated. 100% I can understand. And I'm not going to sit here and just tell you to buy something because, with what money, honestly? I mean, how did a price point for a starter home in Fort Collins, how is that at $450,000? Um, it's really hard to wrap my mind around the fact that that is a starter home price in Fort Collins. Uh, so I'm not going to sugarcoat things and just tell you to buy something and tell you to figure it out because while I believe that you can buy a home in 2025 if you want to, I'm also here to say that it's going to be a challenge and we're going to have to get scrappy because it's not going to be a walk in the park and it's not going to be, oh, here's your pick of the litter of homes. We're going to have to get creative. So let's just start there. And I don't mean to be doom and gloomy at all, but I also don't want people going down the doom scroll of housing prices are out of control. You'll never be able to afford your own home. You're going to be renting until the day you die, because that is also not true. So let's chat about it. The number one thing standing in the way of homeownership is affordability. That's just where we're at right now. Like I said, the home prices for a starter home in Fort Collins are at $450,000. A reasonable mortgage is considered to be 28% of your monthly gross income. Down in Denver, good luck. 28%. It's just not happening right now. We're over at like 38% down in Denver right now for like a reasonable mortgage. So that being said, that's a reality that we have to face as far as homeownership. The affordability is insane. Next, we have the competition. Thank God, it is not 2022 anymore. We don't necessarily have these cash buyers swooping in, offering $100,000 over with no appraisal waiver or with no appraisal contingency or anything like that. That's not necessarily happening right now. I am seeing a lot less competition as far as that goes, and part of that are the interest rates. Everyone expected them to come down last year. And then we started the new year with them being in the sevens. So none of us have crystal balls. We just do with what we can. So the competition aspect of stuff is starting to normalize. Thank God. I just can't. 2022 was just insane. And then it took 2023 for sellers to realize that it wasn't 2022. So we've got the competition aspect, and then we're also battling the inventory aspect of everything. It's getting much better, thank God. We were definitely in a seller's market, and we're starting to normalize now, which means that you're going to be more on equal footing with the sellers if you're looking to buy your first home this year. Sellers are not getting all of what they want. They're having to negotiate in order to get their home sold, especially if they are even slightly overpriced. The thing is I think there was a pendulum swing with some buyers being just upset at what happened in 2022, which everyone should be. It was ridiculous. And so if buyers even smell that the price point is slightly high, they're just letting that house sit for a while. And then that's forcing sellers to negotiate even more if it's been on the market for over the average days on market, which down here, anything over a month right now, sellers are starting to panic about. So not to be doomsday or too harsh on things, but I mean, it's definitely rough out there. If you are looking to buy this year, it's going to be a marathon. It is not going to be a sprint, and we are not going to find something the first week out. I mean, unless we're blessed with that, we might be. Probably not, though. So it's going to be a marathon, and there are things that we can do. Number one, we're adjusting expectations this year. Maybe you are really wanting this one location. Maybe you really want a single family home in Denver proper. Those might be out of reach for this year, for your first home. Because remember, very few people buy their dream home right out of the gate. We gotta adjust expectations because your first home is most likely not going to be everything that you hoped and dreamed that it would be. So the first thing to kind of adjust are the location expectations. If you want that home in Denver, it might be out of reach price point wise. But there might be some townhouses up in Thornton that's really up and coming right now. There might be some stuff over in Longmont. I have clients that are looking slightly more east. We all know anything slightly east of I-25 tends to be on the more affordable side of things. Up north, I also have people going east. That's been really helpful, or just slightly more northeast has been helpful. Let's adjust those expectations of where we might land locally. Because as much as you want to be in downtown Fort Collins, feasibly, affordability wise, it might not work out for your first home. The second thing we're going to do is actually lean into the programs that Colorado has. I have a ton of lenders on my team that really know the programs that will fit first-time homebuyers best, and they tailor stuff specifically to you. So we're going to lean into those programs that make first-time home ownership possible. And that's one of the scariest things. When people first come to me and they're starting to think about buying, I always tell them, get with a lender right now, because that cuts out the dreamy part of it, which is the fun part, and 100% I'm on Zillow as well. But it gets it to the nuts and bolts of the numbers. This is what you can afford. And so then once we have those numbers in front of us, we can actually start setting up a plan. And those lenders will be able to tell you what programs work great with you, what credit score you need to be at, what interest rate you're kind of looking at. They're able to tell you that stuff right out the gate so that we can make a plan to move forward with confidence, and we're not just kind of floating around in space, scrolling through Zillow, either thinking that it's never going to happen or being a little bit too dreamy with it, unfortunately. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to get scrappy. There are interest rates to be brought down. There are closing costs to be covered. There are things to be done to help you get into your home right now. And this beginning of the year time is great because not a lot of people are out buying. So you don't have to battle the competition of multiple offers necessarily. And you can really start negotiating with the sellers. They're not flashy wins, like getting an interest rate buy down for 2 years is not a super flashy win, but I mean, it'll save you thousands of dollars. So all of that being said, buying your first home is more than just the numbers. It's about buying the life that you want, what you foresee for yourself, for your spouse, for your kiddos. It's about being somewhere where you can be and you can breathe, that you own and you are at peace at. So if you were buying in 2025, I want you to know it's going to be tough, but it's not impossible. So feel free to reach out if you have questions about anything, how to get started, what else I see potentially happening in the market. And just know that you can do this. You got this.